everybody. Once again, you've made it to the Impossible Knot Shop podcast. Podcast all about our projects and knitting and yarn. I'm Andie. I'm the owner of Impossible Knot, and this is
Helen.
Helen. She's a friend and OG customer here at the Impossible Knot. For all those people who are coming back to see us from last time, thanks for showing up. And for all you new people, hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Welcome. I thought we'd talk a little bit about the, kind of our origin story here. So I've been, I opened in 2017 in the end of July.
The end of July, yeah. The beginning of August, yeah.
And we opened
it was the end of July because your anniversary is always
the 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the end of July. So it's been 3 years that we've been open. A lot has changed. We opened 2 weeks late. 2017 was the big fire year here in BC, Canada. And our town had it hard. So town was a week before my opening date was set. Town was evacuated due to a fire about it reached up to, I think it was only a mile away.
Yeah.
So it was just
2 kilometers,
north of town. And we were out for 13 days. So I was 2 weeks late opening. And then as you can imagine, we had fire in the area all summer long.
From both sides.
It was brutal.
North and south, yeah.
Yeah, so we were on alert where I lived just 15 minutes out of town pretty much most of the summer.
As well as us, yeah.
Right through into the school year.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, that was another fire season in BC. We were really lucky. We were like one of the only places that didn't burn in BC, but we had smoke again, and so that does a big number on tourism. But 2019 was pretty good summer, but then in the fall we had mill closures.
Late summer.
Yeah, we had mill closures.
Late summer, the mill, one of the biggest mills, closed down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's part of being in a small town. This summer was fantastic, aside from COVID. So we still did have some people roll through town. We've been really safe here. I think being a small town is good for that.
We've been pretty lucky for not having much.
Yeah, I think there was only 2 reported cases.
There's been a few.
Recently, but I think officially up until the beginning of October was only 2 reported cases officially, I think. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's still...
There's a few people in isolation.
There are. But that's okay.
That's what it is.
I hope everybody out there is staying safe.
And healthy.
Yes. We had a little bit of a scare because my son had a cold. And it started with a sore throat, and so Tuesday the shop was closed because I took him in for testing, and then I had a friend of mine help me out and keep the shop open the next couple of days until we got the negative results. He was just a
Very
cold.
good.
He had the sniffles. He was
that
fine
time
after
of
a
year
couple
going
days.
back to school.
Yes, he's 8.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Whips.
I think it's whip time.
Okay.
Did you want to start?
I can start. Oh.
We'll do finished objects after. Let's start with whips.
Okay, let's start with whips. This is the easiest one to get to.
Mm-hmm.
This is, we have a new grandbaby coming.
So excited for
Beginning
you.
of November. So I hope I can put that up well enough that people can see it.
So it's a really cute, all not seamed. It's not squares that are worked and then seamed later. It's all worked in one piece, and they're worked. So some of the areas. This is a stockinette. These are all stockinette, and then these guys are worked the other way around. So you get the reverse stockinette on this side. So when you turn it around,
and
it's the opposite.
No, this. What do you call it?
Just
the edging.
Oh, it's just a seed stitch or a moss stitch?
Moss stitch, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
This was a Sirdar pattern?
Yes, the pattern is
Sirdar Snuggly pattern. So it's just it's got nice yarn overlace patterns worked into it and some seed stitch borders or moss stitch borders.
And the yarn?
The yarn is Cherished.
I love this yarn.
By King Cole.
By King Cole. It is acrylic, but it is incredibly soft.
So this is some of the softest acrylic I've ever seen. It's so hard because it's being blown out by the light. This is their peach color, shade 3196. It's funny because in the ball, it's actually kind of a really bright peach. It's so hard to see because it is blown out.
It is, but when it's knitted out, it really, really lightens up.
It's lovely, and
it's this,
it's an anti-pill acrylic. So normally when you get a really, really soft acrylic, you have to worry about pilling and fuzziness, and this stuff actually is quite bomb proof. It's really nice and soft.
And of course we knew what we were going to have, so of course I could pick the color.
Oh, is it a
so
girl?
This is for dear Madeline.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yes.
And Cherished actually comes in a lot of it comes in solids in lots of colors, so you can even get it in brights. I have all kinds of softs. I've got red, soft blues, greens, yellows. It comes in a lot of different colors. It also comes in a self-patterning called Cherish, which is the sort of a sister yarn. It is a self-patterning, same base, but just like a false ferrule, and it's so soft.
It is,
I had a
gorgeous.
customer bring in a project they were working on in this color, which is the Humbug, which is a gray. So it's a dark gray, light gray, and a white self-patterning. And I when I touched it, I couldn't help myself. And it comes in, we have quite a few different colors of it in patterned. And they're nice because you can use them together. So the gray goes really nicely with both of these.
All the different ones, yes.
Yeah, for sure. I'll do one of mine. So this is the current. Now this would have been a finished object if I'd paid attention, but I didn't. So this was my shift by Andrea Mowry. So it's almost done. I have 4 rows and then an I-cord bind off, and then I just need to seam the back. So that's the top edge right here, and then the 2 sides. So one side right here. So this will get seamed to right here, and then the edge my needles are in, that yours on the front there, that will be bound off with a I-cord bind off. So it's got a little I-cord along the top, and it'll be along the edge too. So it'll be a cowl that you wear around your neck.
Yeah, colors are so
I
pretty
know.
together.
So that was the 220 Superwash Wave, and I loved how this one was the unicorn that does that change. And then when I switched to the purple, the petunia, it was such a violety purple here, and it really, really showed up quite nicely. So I'm super happy. At first I thought it was going to be a little bit boring because the colors were kind of subdued, but as soon as it got into that color change here with the unicorn colorway, so amazing. Can't wait to wear it.
Yeah.
And it's squishy.
Yeah, squishy soft.
Yeah, it's a slip stitch pattern, so it makes quite a fat because you slip over 2 rows, and so it makes quite
It's
a
cozy, that's for sure.
yeah. Now that isn't the recommended yarn for the pattern, but
The colors are magnificent.
I like it. Yeah, and it was just in my bag I made myself. I forgot to say last
Yeah,
time
those,
about
yeah.
bags.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that I wouldn't have enough yarn, but I definitely have enough yarn. So 3 skeins of the Superwash Wave is definitely enough.
It goes
Yeah.
to me now.
Another one?
This one I started a while ago. It's, one of those wits that, you just kind of pick up again every once in a while.
Yep.
When
Have lots of those.
Last spring, I took Andie down to the coast, Vancouver, because she was having surgery.
Oh, yeah, neck surgery.
And so, of course, we're at the coast. We have to try and get to a yarn store.
Of course.
So I got this at a local yarn store.
88 stitches.
88 stitches.
That's Langley, right?
And
Oh, it's so pretty. It's
it's really hard to
It's a
pronounce the name.
single ply tweed, basically. It's got a
Yeah,
beautiful
100%.
little, is that 100% wool?
Yeah.
It's a single ply in some pretty shades of purpley pink, and it's got little tweed flecks of purple, teal, and pink. It's super hard to see. I don't know if you can't really see the tweed,
It's
but
hard
it's quite
to,
nice.
yeah.
And it's really stretchy. This knit pattern is. So what is this that you're
It's
making?
called the Scarborough Shrug. find the right picture. Hopefully it's hard to tell when I don't print it in color. I apologize.
I always print my patterns in black and white.
But that is right there. It is Quince and Company,
Yeah.
designed by Pam Allen. And it's kind of hard to,
It's just a cute little shrug.
yeah.
So it's just seamed
Yeah.
after? Do you pick up little ribbing around the arms?
Where am I with this? Yes.
It's been a
you
while
do.
since you've worked on this one.
Yeah,
eh?
you do a little seam around the
Armhole.
armbands
Mm-hmm.
and around the neckband.
That's quite pretty. How much,
Yes.
are you almost all the way through?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's just a little guy?
Yes.
I do
so
like
it's just
that.
fun. It's with that dropped knit stitch, which I kind of was a little intimidating at first, but once you get going,
It's not
it's a really easy pattern, and it turns out so pretty.
so textured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also bought yarn at 88 Stitches when I was there. I think I have some lace weight silk alpaca in a green.
Can you buy the
and-
green?
Yep,
Yes.
I did. I was looking at it just last night, trying to think. I buy yarn at every yarn shop I go to. Not that I need more yarn, but I always do. Support local.
Yes.
And it helps me. I buy some of them as samples. You never know, I might come across a yarn that I liked. Oh,
yeah.
I was in Kamloops and I stopped at Knit 2 Yarns in Kamloops not that long ago, just a month and a half ago or something like that.
Yes.
And I found these, which is the Evolution sock. So hard to see. They are merino nylon sock yarn, and they're self-striping, but it's sort of in a little bit of a gradient, so they will stripe. Really long color changes, but they have like little speckles of color. It's super hard to see, but they have like little speckles of color and beautiful color changes. There's one, so I bought one of these when I was down there, and I couldn't help myself, and I ended up buying them all. And here's another one, so you can see
That,
pretty.
yeah, I like
There's
those
6 colors. None of them are really very manly, because I think there is one that's orange, yellow, and green though, which, I mean, if your man likes,
Doesn't care.
it doesn't care if it's color. Those are the, I mean,
No more.
shouldn't matter at all, but they all have sort of pinky purples and things like that. But they're really soft and squishy, and I have yet to knit a sock out of it, but I have seen socks knit out of it, and they are really lovely. It's nice that we have more options for a commercial merino blend, because most of the time it's just 100%, or it's a superwash wool nylon blend.
Right.
And this is a superwash merino
Which
nylon
is-
blend.
Yeah.
And they're really nice. I hope they come out with more colors. But there's more projects. So instead of working on projects, because I was working on my projects that I showed last time, but the rocket tee that I was working on in the foxy orange color with the hand-dyed mohair lace, I ended up not liking the way that there's like little seam designs on it. Not seams, but false seam designs. And I didn't like the way it was working up for me. So I pulled back probably 4 inches worth of work, and I haven't done anything since then. So it's smaller than it was here. I actually picked up and started a sock. When I first started knitting socks, I said to my husband, "Hey, would you wear socks if I made them for you?" And he went, "No." Now, my husband's not a color guy at all. He wears navy and gray, and like he's not very much into color. He wears work socks though. So he thought I was talking like colorful socks. And when I started this one, he was like, "Oh." So this is just Peyton's Croy. It's their Erin and red, and then their gray rag, which is just, just normal work socks. The gray rag is just a 3-color gray rag. And actually, of all weird things, it's the only Croy sock yarn that still smells like wool. Because I can smell the lanolin.
Really?
Here, smell the ball instead of the sock I've been manhandling. Smell the yarn.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only one that still
yeah,
smells like,
it's like wool.
and it's just a rag, so it makes a nice,
Yeah,
great
that
for work socks.
Yeah, that perfect work sock color.
Yeah, it's a little bit thicker, so for him it'll be a bit of a nicer.
In the wintertime, absolutely.
I carry a ton of Croy and Croy FX just because it's it's just a pretty basic superwash. We've thrown them in the wash before. They're meant to be machine washed and dried, but you know, all sock yarn kind of gets a bit fuzzy when it's thrown in the dryer, so prefer to hang them up to dry, but I know he's not gonna do that, so I'm fully okay with doing this. And I'll do the heel and the toe in white. And then this pattern was the sock pattern generator at recipes, knittingrecipes.com/socks. So you can make your own personalized sock recipe. So I took my husband's feet measurements and popped them in there with my stitch count, and voila. So I'm just gonna do a little slip stitch heel and nothing fancy. But I probably got that much done today. So I got quite a bit. And I'm working it with
Magic loop.
Yeah, magic loop on 2.75s because the Croy, I'm a super tight knitter and the Croy is quite a fat sock yarn. That is just a metal container. I can't recall offhand what these are called. I have them in the shop here. They're really great if you do socks. You can hold 2 sets of needles if you were using sock needles, or just a bigger pair, but they just slide in the end, and they really protect the join on your needles. And if you have wood needles or metal needles, you don't have to worry about them poking out of your bag or getting snapped because it's metal. So I love these because I tend to, I tend to shove my stuff in the bag, and I don't know, I'm not very careful knitter. I used to be the person that would stick my needles into the ball, and I had so many people get mad at me for doing that.
I used to do that too, but
It splits your yarn, apparently.
Yeah.
That's also a little sock bag by me. I made new ones. This was a prototype. I made ones that are, see how it's quite full. I've got 3 little balls of yarn in there. So I actually made them a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger around, so they fit your stuff in there better.
Got nice little pockets on them. Oh no, they
No,
don't.
no pockets.
Oh,
These
no,
ones,
because
it's just a, no, it's just, yeah, it's just the
top part. Okay. Oh, so
yeah,
it tucks
'cause it's-
in. Yeah, you can tuck it in.
because it's just a little, yeah, you
Right.
can open it up and fold it out like this and just use it as a little, you know, little yarn bowl.
Yarn bowl. Yeah.
And the nice thing about them is when you do it up, you can just put it over your arm and you can knit. It's nice when you go to the doctor's office or whatever, and you can shove it all back in and
Right.
carry it.
Right.
But I do have some of those. I think I have one more in the shop of those. More? Or
I do.
I have so many.
And this is for another grandson. Oops.
Needles. Ooh, I know what yarn that is.
Yes, I have discovered this yarn and I love it. It is.
Sugarbush
It is Sugarbush Crisp.
That's their DK, right?
Yeah, and this little, it's got a really neat bulky twist and just a ribbing.
You can't see it, you have to lift it up.
Yeah, I will.
So it's got a really cute little textured pattern. It actually feels really nice.
It is 100% wool, but it is, again,
It's a merino, right?
merino, it's so soft.
So I don't carry the Sugarbush Crisp here in the shop. It's one of those things I've played with getting. It's on my list. I carry Sugarbush's mohair silk, their drizzle. The Crisp is a really soft, high twist, really bouncy, squishy.
Yes, yeah.
It's really great for things like cables
Cozy.
and
It works up really nicely.
Mhm.
It's just called Boy Sweater, and I actually found it originally on Pinterest, and then of course it was
who's it by? Lisa
by Lisa
Chemery.
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 Chemery. It is actually available on Ravelry.
Yeah.
That's where it sent
It's
me
cute.
to.
It's just a little
Yeah, Yeah.
cowl collar
Yeah.
with a couple buttons. It looks
yeah,
like it's gonna
and
be
it'd
really
be
cute.
nice for him to wear through the winter before he grows out of it.
Yeah, that won't take long.
The little man, yes.
I went ahead and did a deep dive in. I have a bag of projects. I'm sure I'm not the only person. One of them is one I pull out kind of once a year. So at Christmas time, I pull out all my whips and I take them home with me because we usually have 4 or 5 days where the shop is closed, and it gives me a chance to pick through all my projects, and I can look at and see what ones are really good learning experiences and need to stay learning experiences, and I know there's ones that need to be pulled out because they need to be finished into something else because I just wasn't happy. And then there's the ones I pick up and knit for a little bit every Christmas, and that's pretty much it. And this would be one of them. I actually don't think I've even looked at this since like this time last year.
That's right.
So this is the Wallace wrap, and the Wallace wrap is by Julie Hoover. Now the Wallace wrap is done in a bulky, I think it was originally it was done in quarry, which I don't carry in my shop. But that's a bulky, and it's a big wide wrap, which is really pretty, and it's sort of patterned just in knits and purls. And if you did it in DK, it would just sort of make a scarf size. And of course, to be contrary, I decided to do it in an ARRRN, so it's sort of in between, so it's just a really wide scarf. Now I've used an acrylic wool blend. You can see the patterning in it. Now it's been in this bag so long that the acrylic actually has creases in it. And when I went through that deep dive for the bag, I found lots of projects. I found all my 4mm needles I couldn't find.
Okay.
Anyways, this yarn was the Fashion Errand by King Cole. It's one of my favorite workhorse yarns. It's 30% wool, 70% acrylic. They make a really nice high-end acrylic. It's soft. This is a tweed, so it's got a lovely tweed look to it. Little flecks. I don't have any of the gray right now in stock. I'm actually waiting sometime this week. I should be getting a really big restock with a bunch of new colors of Fashion Errand, because it sort of had a bit of a limited color palette. There was quite a few, but
Yeah, I've knit a few things with it. I really like it.
yeah, it's warm. It's machine washable and dryable,
Yeah.
so you can even throw
Yeah.
it in the dryer, even though it's got such a good percentage of wool in it. Here's one so you can have a look. That's the Fashion Errand. They have lots of really nice associated patterns that you can get if you're a big fan of Aran patterns. I also carry the Kintyre, which is the cream color with the dark colored speckles, and I carry the brown, this color here, the Eyelet. I carry both of those in the large ball as well. They're not on my website, but I do have them in the shop, so if you're ever interested in that, that'd be great. I got him. My son is here and he's playing video games. But anyways, yeah, so this was a deep dive. I really got to get on this. I think I was about halfway done.
Yeah.
That's, I got about halfway done. I would do it again. This was the first time I worked a chart flat. I've worked the charts round, but this is the first time I worked it flat. And because it's a gray color, coming back, sometimes I would do the front of the chart instead of the back of the chart.
Done that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
And so then I'm like trying to fix it as I go along. And, I think that's one of the reasons why, I mean, I don't mind it. It's actually not a hard pattern because it's fairly repeating. And I've marked all my, place of all my changes in pattern, which has made it so much easier because I don't think it had that in the pattern. But I'm not super excited about finishing it. I should.
Why not? You will.
I'd have to wait till I get more of it in.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, and I mean, you don't even need the pattern. I just have the chart. I shrunk, the chart comes out really tiny on the pattern. It's on Ravelry, a paid pattern on Ravelry. And I'll just show you really quick. You're not gonna be able to see anything, but my chart, I just keep it in a chart keeper. I have a bunch of these Knit Picks chart keepers. They're magnetic. Yeah, and you can set it up on it's magnetic, and you can move the one long magnet to show your row. The only thing is I travel back and forth a lot, and every time I drop it, I move my
magnet. Yes,
so
of
right now
course.
I don't know what row I'm on, so I have to figure it out each time I pick it up. But I mean, if I was working on it at home, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. Pretty much. Is that it for?
Well, I do have one more that I just kind of
started.
I just happened again, like Andie was on a
Did you just drop your needles in your cup?
knitting trip with my sister, and we
Oh yes.
went to Kamloops, and of course back to Knit Two Yarns.
We shop at Knit Two Yarns every so often for sure.
And
And there's a Starbucks right across the
that's right, it's
parking
so
lot
handy.
from her. Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to do is I've made sweaters.
Yep.
But I wind up back in this store-bought thin acrylic sweater that I wear around the house. Because the other ones I have are too warm. So.
And you never hardly ever make anything for yourself.
And I hardly ever make anything for myself. So, to,
Carla?
thank you, Carla.
Oh, Carla, the
Had
owner
a
of Knit Too.
fabulous sale on.
A
So I
while
found
back.
the yarn because it was perfect for the thickness that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what did I do with it? Bear with me.
It's in your lap. Oh, you had a spare.
No, I had, oh no, here it is. I have it. I didn't have one in the,
Oh, it's a universal yarn.
it's a universal yarn fin. It is,
That's a 50-gram ball of 50% acrylic, 25% merino, 25% alpaca.
and it is the perfect
Ooh, it's
thickness.
soft.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just a really different pattern that we again found on Ravelry. It's a really kind of go with anything.
Just a little yarn overhaul pattern.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of different patterns, and all it's called is
Oh, it's nice and soft. You're such a loose, like you're such a relaxed knitter. It's like it's not loose. It's just nice and relaxed.
yeah, Denim Eyelet.
Okay.
It's this one I believe was free on Ravelry.
This is the bottom of the. What is this?
That's the top.
Oh, it's top down.
It's top down
Huh.
in one piece. So the only thing I didn't like about it was short sleeve.
Oh.
But
Oh, I see. I can see the increases right here for
Yes.
the shoulders. So
yes,
yes.
there you
Okay.
go. So that's the pattern. And all I decided to do was I just bought a little bit more yarn and I'll just knit the sleeve longer.
Yep.
To more like, I would like more of a 3/4, because I shove my sleeves up anyway.
I like
But those,
3/4.
but those I wouldn't be, the short sleeve I wouldn't be comfy in, right?
No, you want it
So-
a little bit down. But you just need a
so-
little bit longer. That's all right.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, I'm
nice
gonna
and
make,
soft.
yeah, it is. It was.
Universal yarns are quite nice. I have a few in the shop.
I've done a few things with the Universal. The problem is I make something and then I end up giving it away. So.
Yeah. I only have most of the stuff I knit is for the shop. So
I have
like-
lots of people to give it to, so.
So this is my own shawl. So this
Yes.
is
This is Andie's own design.
it's called the Glasswork. It's a 2 skein pattern. It's a garter and garter stripes, and then a little bit of really geometric yarn overlace. And then these look almost like a brioche, but they're actually just a twisted rib. So it's quite a nice, simple. I like a long, narrow shawl, like I said before. So it has less increases down the middle, and it's a bit longer in the.
Did you bring over a copy of the pattern?
I didn't. If you want to grab one, sure. It's on Ravelry. I carry some in the shop as well. And I knit it in these 2 colors. So the original color on the pattern was black cat yarn. So I hadn't started dyeing at that point. So that's my Glasswork shawl pattern. And that was my first release, my first knitting pattern. But I did my own in these 2 colors. So that's my Brick Hat, which is sort of a charcoal gray, a tonal, and my Stained Glass, which is a multicolor with aqua, a little bit of
Oh,
fluorescence.
it's so pretty.
Yeah, this is my sweet sock. I did this one originally in my my merino sock. I really want to make another one with my sweet sock because it's just a little bit softer. I always
Nice.
do that with my yarn.
Beautiful, yes.
Yeah, but that's available on Ravelry if you're
Very
interested or in the shop.
creative.
If you buy it in the shop, they come with a little scratch off here for there's a Ravelry code for download if you like to keep the
Pattern
digital.
online.
Some people like to keep the digital pattern.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's nice. It's nice to wear because it's long and narrow, and it's warm because I just took it off and now I'm cold.
Yeah.
You need to. I got to get you knitting shawls.
Yes, that is on my list. It is on my list, definitely, with your.
Or you want to do this one, or just as something?
I'm not sure.
It might be too much.
It might be
I
too
think you
much
need a
to
smaller
start.
one.
Yeah, I might need to try with something a little simpler to get the hang of it.
Oh, shawls aren't hard. This is the lady who knits cables. Not the cables are hard either, but I think. Oh, what are you wearing?
Oh, I got heck for this because I don't
didn't give her
have.
heck
Yes,
for
you did. Because I don't have the pattern. I have. Well, I probably do, but I just have no idea where it is. I made it so long ago this was actually, we were talking about when we started knitting.
Oh
And-
yeah,
I crocheted for years and years and years, because when my mother taught me to knit, I just couldn't get the hang of it. So, and then I just decided maybe 4.5, 5 years ago, I'm gonna try it again. So this is one of the first
you knit this.
projects.
Did you knit this out of yarn from here?
I swear I did.
I think you did.
Were you? No, you weren't open yet.
Are you sure?
You weren't open yet when I did this.
Oh.
Or maybe you were.
I think you were. I think
Okay.
this was the Riot Chunky. King Cole's Riot, which has been discontinued since. I have the Riot
Yeah,
DK, but
but
this is
this-
the Riot Chunky.
This was so easy, because I kept teasing her that, you know, if
It's
you
like a
knit,
big rectangle, and it's just seamed.
it's just stocking stitch with ribbing. So you can make it as big as you want, right? I like it because
It's like a
of course,
little
the cover
cocoon.
covers my butt. And yeah, it was super easy. Yeah, you make a big rectangle.
I was
and
giving
sew
her
it
grief for
together.
not having the pattern. Or
Yeah,
anything.
she did.
She
But
wasn't-
it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah, and I learned to knit 3 years ago.
Wow, when you opened your store.
Yes, so I opened my store. The very first thing I made for the shop was a crocheted shawl, and then I had to learn to knit. So I learned to knit, well no, I knit a hat. Someone told me how to knit a hat when I was like 24, and I never touched needles after that. And so opening the shop was an interesting deep dive into the rabbit hole of knitting. I had to educate myself how to knit. I think I can handle most knitting questions now.
Oh, she's amazing. She's very creative, and what
And-
she's accomplished in that short time is incredible.
And I've
so.
released 2 knitting patterns since then.
Yes.
And I know a lot about needles.
Yes, she does. Yes.
A lot
And
about
wool
needles.
and yarn.
Well, you kind of have to. I mean, I still don't think of myself as an expert, because goodness, there's lots of ladies out there and men who know tons about yarn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't have any other finished objects here except for one of my shop samples. So if you wanted to show, because I know people want to see this one.
Okay, apparently, yeah, on our first episode, I showed you a sweater that I was making for my husband.
Yes,
And we got some.
this is a Rowan pattern. A zip up cabled, I don't know if you're going to be at that. She's
I
not
had
very
to-
sturdy.
She's not very sturdy, but I had to use the girlfriend here to.
Yeah, my girlfriend. I knocked her over too many times, and so we're still waiting for a zipper to come that will go with it, but it's got all.
There's two.
So there's the sleeves. I just love these sleeves. And she's tried it on her husband, and it fits. The sleeves are a tiny bit long, but he will fold them up, and it's totally fine. Turn
Yeah.
around. I just dig this. This is so gorgeous, like gorgeous with all these bobbles up.
And yeah, I love this.
And
I love this
I
yarn.
just dig this a lot. Yeah, this is the alpaca merino worsted from Estelle. And we have this. I even have this color. It's sort of
Yeah.
a blue with a
Like a
it's sort of
denim
a
blue.
denim.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind
Yeah,
of a soft
like a
blue.
bluey gray.
Yeah, and it has like a little bit of green almost
No,
in it.
she
Yeah,
won't
see,
stand
she's
up
not
still.
sturdy. So yeah, it's a really lovely yarn to work with. So soft, and the merino gives that alpaca some body.
Thinking
so it doesn't
actually,
stretch
because
out.
it's funny in the pattern.
Oh,
There is on the neckband.
oh yeah, there was like
There's-
some tabs, little tab
I'm
with
thinking
buttons.
though, quite honestly, I might only just do one. I think
Just
the
one?
pattern
Yeah,
had
did it
two,
have
but
two?
I think just one thicker one would be nicer.
Yeah, sure. I'll just use a big button to close it.
Yeah.
Would he ever close it?
Yes.
He would.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't. I'm lazy.
He probably. Well, it would depend on how cold he is and where we are.
This feels
But
really nice. I like that in the sleeves that it's all the reverse stockinette back
Yeah.
here, and so I kind of like that it's really soft.
I like the
on one
reverse
side.
mixed with
And the seed stitch on this underarm
With the
or
cables,
on
yeah.
the body side of the body is all seed stitch
Yeah.
here. So I
yeah.
do. This must have been like a long slog, though.
It probably took
Kinda.
me 6 or 8 months to do.
But that's you wanted to do him a sweater that he would wear.
Yeah, and he actually.
like it?
He loves it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he actually picked this pattern. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And just in case anybody's wondering, we're actually having ourselves some hot toddy right now. We've had snow here in the Caribou already. I woke up to snow yesterday, this morning.
It was still there this morning.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
it's
was,
almost
it was
gone.
trying to snow again on my way in.
It snowed
but-
almost all day yesterday, but you know, just a little bit that doesn't really. My son got to play outside in his snow pants and making a snowman. Normally it's really dry here in Caribou, so the kids can't make snowballs or snowmen.
But it's at that temperature right now. We're having a bit of
In
a
the
cold
fall.
snap because
It happens.
it is unusual to get consistent snow at this time of year here.
It comes and goes and comes and goes.
Yeah.
That's that
Anyway.
in the fall and in the spring. It's like that here.
Yeah.
Mm.
What else did you?
I was just gonna show. I finished this one a while back. This is my Weekender by Andrea Mowry. So she used a worsted weight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's a split hem, worked in the round, bottom up. It's reverse stockinette with a slip stitch detail here, and then it has some short rows at the top and ribbing. It's tubular cast on and a tubular bind off up here around the neckline, and then it's supposed to be a tubular cast off on the sleeves, but I got lazy and just cast off. I would like to make another one because I feel like this one was a bit on the small side for me because it's supposed to be quite big and baggy. And what I did was I used a sport weight woolly wool, so I used Briggs & Little's Durasport, which is a Canadian wool and nylon blend. It's a great sock yarn if you don't mind a hand wash, but it is kind of a very rustic wool with that crunchy feel, you know, that rustic feel. So what I did was I held it double with Sugarbush's Drizzle, the mohair, and in gray. And it's so fuzzy and soft. It's so hard. I don't know if you can see the
bit of
halo
fuzz,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's got really great halo. And it makes the sweater feel really nice and so warm. It gives it a gauge, worsted gauge. So with I used 5mm needles. But I'd like to make it again, I think, with maybe with the, I don't know yet. Maybe with something else. But I kind of regretted doing gray after because gray was the color she made hers in. It kind of, a lot of people did gray.
I think I did one in kind of a darker blue.
And because it was the Canadian wool, so that's the Briggs & Little's Durasport, it's really a nice woolly wool. It only comes in 7 colors, so it doesn't have a huge range, but that and the Sugarbush Drizzle. So it made for quite an inexpensive sweater comparative, you know,
Exactly.
to some yarns.
Yeah.
And warm, like really, really warm. And I do like, oh my God, it smells so good. Every time I get Briggs & Little, I have to sniff the packages because their yarns are minimally processed, so they still have the lanolin in them and little bits of hay. And,
They got so many new
oh yes, I've got.
colors and
I carry the Tuffy. I carry a selection of Tuffy. I carry a selection of Heritage, Regal, and I'm only missing the black right now of the Durasport. I'm hoping to bring in a few sports as well. Their sport is no nylon. It feels pretty much the same. It's just that little extra bit of nylon in the Durasport makes for a little bit sturdier socks.
okay.
Sturdy or anything. Would make great fingerless mitts. The fabric on it is quite nice if you knit it. That's, I think, with a 3mm, so it makes quite a nice fabric. I don't mind it too much.
That's
Like a
one
nice
thing
sweater.
I keep forgetting because I have to finish it before Christmas. I started those trigger mitts for my son.
Oh,
And I
out
used
of
the Briggs & Little, yeah.
the trigger mitts
and
out of the Saltwater Classics
Yes, with the,
with Tuffy.
no,
those
was
were
it Tuffy or was it,
It was an
Regal.
Aran. I think it might have been the Heritage.
Heritage, that was it.
Yeah, the Heritage is
Yeah.
the same weight as the
I'll have
Tuffy,
to
but it
bring
doesn't
them
have
in
any
next time because
Oh, I'd
I'm
love to see
almost finished the second one. So
Oh, I haven't even
I
seen
put-
them at all.
I put them away and then totally forgot about them because I was making
d-
other things.
I do it a lot. Like I said, I think I found like 2 pairs of
I
my
shoulda
4mm needles.
I should have had it done from last time I saw him because he's
Yep.
going hunting next week.
Oh. So there's just a couple things that I've gotten new in the shop. I got a couple yarns. That was the Evolution sock from Estelle. And I got a huge restock of my All Points North because I was home with my son. So I had time. I think we had 90 skeins that I'm still not quite done processing. But there's tons of new colors. Pop them online on Friday. So if you're interested in seeing lots of colors in all the bases, I added extra. I got these, and I don't think I talked about them before. They're Kelmscott scissors. So I got a little range, not a huge supply. So I got some of their little gems. I got the primitive colorway. They're really adorable. They're just under 2 inches, these little scissors. So they're considered airplane safe. Not that we can really fly anywhere right now. These are their little gold guys. They're actually sharp. They have a very tiny little blade, so you kind of have to make a loop of your yarn to cut it, so you're not chasing your yarn around, but they're great. Then we got the Putfords, which have these gigantic finger holes. They're very sharp. That's the Putfords in the primitive. And then I got 2 colors of the Susan scissors. They're named after the famous designer and teacher Susan B. Anderson. So I got the Susan scissors in the primitive and also in a silver. They're nice weighty scissors. They're not big. I think they're 2.75 maybe inches. I'd have to double check on that, but, or not 2, yeah, 2.75, almost 3 inches. So you can still get your fingers through the holes. They have a decent sized blade, so they're really sharp. You can cut with them. And they fit in most of your little notions tins. So I have a tiny little notion tin, and the little gems fits it. So next time I order, I'm getting a pair for me, the little black ones, because they're adorable. And I might have to put a little scissor fob on them so I don't lose them.
Yes.
Because they're so little.
Yes.
But I have a little selection of these. They're online. I can't wait to order more because they have so many. I had little cat, little sheep scissors. They had sheeps on them, but they're all gone. They went really fast. As a matter of fact, I think they don't have very many. Kelmscott doesn't have very many of them available right now, or they didn't when I ordered. I think that's pretty much it. We'd gotten some new books in the shop, but already we're short. I'm waiting for some orders to come. There should be lots of items coming soon into the shop. Just waiting. Shipping right now is slow no matter what. But, oh well.
Yes.
Patience.
Yes.
I have lots of yarn in the shop, like lots. Tons and tons of baby yarns and cottons.
Yeah, the selection is really great. It is really great.
We do still...
so much yarn, so little time.
Oh yes, I say that every time I open a box. It's like Christmas. Ooh, what's all this? Ooh, I wonder what I can make with this. I have a queue of knitting that's so long. I don't even, why did I start another pair of socks? Why did I start another pair of socks?
Because you could make your husband something, finally.
Eventually. But now I have so many things I can't finish anything. I really should have
Yes.
finished the other things that I had, my socks. My other socks. Pair of socks that are like 7 months old already. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Right now for COVID, we are open. Our regular hours, we're Tuesday to Saturday, 9:30 to 4:30, just like regular. It is only 2 bubbles, small bubbles in the shop at the same time. Sanitize your hands required. If you can't for some reason, you need to let me know, and I can help you, but I would prefer if people didn't touch the stock right now, just to be safe. We're doing pretty good up here, but you know.
You still have to be really careful.
Yep, I'm not requiring masks. I really do appreciate if you wear one. I wear one at the shop when I have customers, when I'm open for customers. I do it for you guys. But that's it.
Yes.
So
No.
I want to thank everybody for coming and
Yes,
coming and watching.
us. And
If you have anything to say, I'd love to hear about it. Subscribe so you'll find more of us online.
comments are, your comments are great. And
Love it when you comment.
yeah.
Anyways, have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Happy
All
fall.
right. Okay.